Moving can be so tough, especially when it comes to making the little choices that you need to make, especially when it comes to our children. So in today's video, what I wanted to go over is the various school districts that are around the Spokane area. I wanted to go through each and every single one of them, give you guys some helpful information so that you guys can make an informed decision on where to place your children when it comes to moving over to Spokane. Be sure to stick around to the end because there's this little known school district that I'm going to cover and you don't want to miss it, especially if you like small, country, intimate settings. Let's get to it. Alright, so if you're new to the channel, we are living in Spokane, Washington. My name is Adam Clark. I've been a realtor for over 15 years and I specialize in helping families relocate over to our beautiful Pacific Northwest region. So if you want to know the latest and greatest when it comes to Spokane and the greater Spokane region, be sure to hit that subscribe and that bell notification so that you can be the first to know when a new video drops. We drop videos weekly, and if you wouldn't mind giving us a sub if you like the information that you see, it really helps a growing channel out and we appreciate it beyond words. We're going to get right into our first school district starting now. Okay, so what better district to start with? The big one itself, Spokane Public Schools, SPS, also known as District 81. District 81 is by far the biggest school district in our area. It has almost 31,000 students approximately and growing, with over 50 schools, with approximate population, high school population somewhere between 1,700 and 1,900 students. Now, one of the biggest advantages of District 81, if you're considering moving here, is the fact that it is the largest district, so there's a great diversity with a myriad of programs and AP placement options, anything that you could want. Now, the problem with that is being the biggest district, having the most students and the most schools, depending on where you live, you could end up in a higher student to teacher ratio school. So be on the lookout for that and try to look for the opportunities where you might get more one-on-one attention from your teachers if your children are the type that need that sort of thing. So be on the lookout for that. Okay, moving right along to the Central Valley School District. The Central Valley School District is very interesting because it is the most rapidly growing district in the area. It only has about 14,000 students. Roughly 50% of the Spokane Public Schools are District 81 in population, student population size. Yet it only has about 20 schools within that district versus District 81 that has about 50 schools. So about 50% of the population size, yet about 40% of the schools. So there's a better student to teacher ratio there. The Central Valley District is really well known for its deep community involvement, a lot of parent involvement as well within the school system itself. So if that's something that's interesting to you, then Central Valley School District could be the district for you. Now, with that being said, it's rapid growth. One of the drawbacks that you can run into, not a guarantee, but may run into, is a little bit of resource allocation issues because of the rapid nature of the growth of the district. So be sure to do your research, look into the school specifically, and otherwise the Central Valley District could be a great district for you, for your children, due to the parent and community involvements and their high academic standards that they're really well known for. Which leads us into our Mead School District. Now, the Mead School District sits north of Spokane, and what's really interesting about the Mead School District, it's partially rural. There's a lot of farmlands, a lot of farm families out there, but the Mead area is rapidly being developed, so it's you're getting a taste of both worlds there. Now, the Mead School District is smaller yet, approximately 10,000 students, with about 15 schools or so in the district itself. Now, what is really interesting about the Mead School District is I feel that when I was going through the school system, that the Mead area kids had a lot of pride in not only their school, but where they're from and kind of their own subculture around there, agriculture and things like that they like to focus on up there. We saw the Mead areas having great academic programs, but also also great sports programs with really good football, wrestling, and you name it. These kids are very athletically inclined, so if you have a gifted athlete at home, Mead could be a good area for you because he or she will fit right along with their peers. Now, one of the problems with the kind of rural setting of the Mead district is one of the weaknesses, I would say, is their AP system may have limited opportunities because it's not really close to a lot of the major universities or things like that, especially in the Spokane Public School District, where it's in close proximity to many community colleges and full 4-year colleges. So a lot more AP options there, but in the Mead one, there may be some limitations with it. Not that it doesn't have an AP program itself, but you want to make sure that if that is something of interest to you and you're looking to move to that area, be sure to look into the AP options available and make sure it has the things that your potential student will want. One thing of note is that the Mead School District also has an award-winning music and arts program. So if you got an artsy type kid, that could be a good fit for them as well. And then not only that, they do have a very active parent-teacher community there. So they work really close with the parents hand in hand. So if you like to be well informed of your students' progress and things going on in their inner world while they're in the Mead School District, then Mead may be a great choice for them. Okay, so the next smallest district, so if you haven't noticed, we're going from biggest to smallest here in this list, and the next one in line would be our West Valley School District. Our West Valley School District approximately has about 7,000 students and about 10 schools overall there. And then this is also where you start to see that the high school population size is a little bit smaller. So where the rest of the districts, the high schools there will have populations between 1,700 and 1,900 students. In West Valley, what you're going to see is somewhere more along the lines of like 1,300 students and maybe a whole grade down. Over here, we have a lot of 2A, 3A, a few 4As, and then on the other side too, we also have some 1A schools, with the majority of those being in our 3A system, where West Valley may be of a population size where it's only a 2A. So what that means is a lot of times their sports and competitive activities, they don't actually play against other bigger schools because they see it as unfair, so they play against other schools of their size. So despite someone being in West Valley, which is the western part of Spokane Valley, in close to Spokane and District 81 and that massive beast of schools over there, they actually won't do a lot of competing with those student bodies. They'll go and travel to some of the smaller schools around the area. So some of the strengths about the West Valley School District is there's a lot of personalized learning programs out there. They really have a STEM focus with their education. So the science and mathematics and engineering and all that technology, they're very focused on that. So if you have a very smart student, somebody that's very interested in science, mathematics, engineering, going into one of those fields, then West Valley may be the absolute perfect fit for them. Now, the problem with that, though, is their small population size, their small district size. There's actually very limited extracurricular activities. So as far as the academia, they're very strong, but as far as the extracurricular, they may be considered a little weaker than some of their bigger district counterparts. So be sure to look into all of that, consider all those factors before deciding what district you want to move into. Smaller even, yet we covered Central Valley, West Valley. Now we're going all the way over to the East Valley School District. Approximately 5,500 students, a very small district. It has about 10 schools, with the high school having about 1,000 students. So it's a pretty small high school. Now, East Valley back in the day had an absolute excellent wrestling program. So if you have a wrestler at home, East Valley may be the school for them. They literally have a program with a great coach who starts them very young, ages 5 or so, and then works them all the way through the high school process. So the high school program rather, and a lot of those wrestlers actually made it into college on scholarships. Now the program and everything has changed a little bit since then, but East Valley still has a very strong wrestling presence in the community, so that's one of the niche facts about that. Some of the strengths of East Valley is it has a very strong vocational training program. So if you want to be like a car mechanic or get into carpentry or anything like that, vocational vocational type schooling. If you have a student at home that's more interested in that, then East Valley may be the perfect fit for them. Not only that, East Valley has a very interesting, I don't know if it's a program or system or what you want to call it, but you can learn outdoors in some of the schools, East Valley School District. So, working and learning close and by and in nature, literally. So that could be a very fascinating student experience for sure. Now, one of the known weaknesses of the East Valley School District is some of the age of some of their facilities. A lot of those schools are pretty old, on the older side, haven't been renovated yet. And just so that you guys also kind of understand, they've been going through the entire region, updating and upgrading and renovating school, one school after the next, and East Valley is one of the last ones in line for some reason. So some of the facilities definitely feel their age, so be sure to look into that if that's something that may affect your decision. Okay, so for our last three districts, these are some of our deep rural setting districts. So this is, where, there's a lot of farming, a lot of ranching, a lot of agriculture, and, a lot of that country feel to their academic system bleeds right into it. So if that's something that's more akin to your lifestyle choices, then these last three districts may be perfect for you. So the next one in line is the Cheney School District. The Cheney School District has about 4,500 students, so a pretty small district, but it gets to be right next to our Eastern Washington University. So Eastern Washington University, being one of the main state colleges in our area, being inside the city of Cheney itself, and then the high school being only a few blocks away from the college, there's a lot of intermingling college-based programs that the students have access of, which can be really cool, especially for a country setting like that. Now, with that being said, one of the major weaknesses of that is there could be some very limited cultural opportunities that would just be available in a larger district like the Spokane Public School District, for example. There's just not a lot of, theaters and museums and things out there. But, if learning the ins and outs of agriculture, they got a great program for that, or any sort of thing where they may need to use a college setting for some of their laboratories and various departments. There's a lot of intermingling resources there. So there's a lot of cool niche opportunities within the Cheney School District itself, with yet still a small community feel, but it is a college town. So seasonally, the population does swell with the college student body coming into the area, inflating the economy. And then in the summertime, they all go out, and then you have that very small, quaint, small town feel of Cheney itself. Now, one of my favorite districts, mainly because my niece personally goes to the high school there, is the Deer Park School District, a great little district located north of Spokane in a very quiet, quaint, and a nature-esque setting that has a good rural environment that's integrated seamlessly within the school system itself. Now, the high school there is only about 600 students, so it's a very small high school, but the advantages of that is, it has that small town feeling. A lot of the kids know each other. In fact, you probably know everyone in the high school. And, personally, my niece absolutely loves it. She's a little more introverted, and she just absolutely thrives in that sort of environment. So it was a perfect fit for her. So if your children are of the same inkling, maybe the same sort of solutions may work for them. You guys would have to decide that as a family. Now, the Deer Park School District is really well known for its smaller class sizes, much more one-on-one training and teaching with the teachers itself, which could be absolutely great. It's also, because of that, it has a lot of individualized learning. So if you have a kid with very particular needs, so like when I was going through the school system, I both had ADHD and dyslexia, and probably everything else known to man at the time. And the academic environment where sit in the desk, sit straight, pay attention, just wasn't for me. So my mom ended up taking me to a Montessori program. That's sort of outside the scope of this video, but we will go over it soon, and that was a good fit for us. But another option could have been sending us to Deer Park. It was just too far away from her work at the time. With that being said, one of the drawbacks to that is also very limited AP advanced placement course options. You're just too far away from the city itself and where all of the colleges and those types of opportunities are. So, there's pros and cons to everything, and just be sure to really be clear about what your family's needs and wants are so that you can get well matched to the district that's right for you guys. Okay, so last on our list, but yet it's my favorite one because the setting is absolutely freaking gorgeous. It's the 9 Mile Falls School District, by far the smallest school district in our area, with approximately about 1,500 students. The high school itself, about 400 of those. So it's a very small district. The entire district is smaller than one of the high schools in the city of Spokane in District 81. So very small district. Literally everyone knows each other, but it's right on the river. Beautiful. A good, water meets, like pine forest nature, like setting and lifestyle. So the school itself, has a lot of opportunities for kids to like fish and hike right around the school itself. When, I was going through the school system, Lakeside actually had a surprisingly incredible athletics department with an excellent wrestling team, just super tough kids out there, an excellent football team, like I said, toughest of the tough. And everyone that I met that went through that system absolutely loved it, including kids who moved there because they failed in the larger districts like this, District 81 or the Central Valley School District. They just, didn't really thrive in those large environments. But when it got to that very hyper intimate setting, they absolutely took off. Every teacher knows you, every teacher, every student. It's one of those things. It's the smallest of the small, the intimate of the most intimate, and it's absolutely by far the most beautiful of all the districts, in my opinion. So their strengths are obviously emphasizing environmental learning opportunities, being outside, incorporating that nature literally into the academic environment itself. And then again, there's, because of its size, limited extracurricular options just due to the proximity and size of the district itself. So, a lot of the sports teams it does have, it has only so much money. It has to decide, which is best for the school and the student body itself. So, if your kid is tied to one particular sport, be sure to do your research ahead of time before going over there and make sure that they offer that extracurricular activity for your student. You won't want them to be heartbroken because, they can't get on the team that they really, really aspire to be on. But, if a country setting, living by the river, in a great small town feel with, excellent amenities still available at your fingertips, they have what we call Rosar's, a grocery store around here, a chain of grocery stores that's very popular, really well known for excellent produce and excellent meat selections because they're kind of like semi-local in nature. 9 Mile Falls District has that going for it, as well as many other opportunities for not being that far away from the city resources itself. So you're in a full nature setting, full cabin-y type feel on the lake, or we call it a lake, but it's really just the reservoir of the river where the water is risen. But within 20 minutes, you're right in the city of Spokane with access to absolutely everything you need. So it's one of those places where a lot of people feel that they get the best of both worlds. So if that sounds like something interesting for you, be sure to check out the 9 Mile Falls School District. All right, so that wraps up our video going over all of the school districts surrounding the greater Spokane region, and it goes all the way from the behemoth, the Spokane District 81, the Spokane Public School System, all the way down to the very, very quaint 9 Mile Falls School District, which is the total student population size less than one of the high schools of District 81. So we have everything in between there, many options, and I can guarantee that you'll find the perfect fit for your family when you guys decide to relocate over there. Now, if you guys like what you heard today, I would really like to ask you guys to please hit that subscribe and help a growing channel out. We appreciate it greatly, greatly, greatly. And I just want you guys to know that my team and I, we receive calls, texts, emails, messages every single day from people just like you who are looking to relocate over here to our beautiful city of Spokane. So please reach out. One of our team will grab and take care of that inquiry right away for you. And then, we will help you A to Z, anything and everything that you need to have a smooth relocation process over to Spokane so that we can help facilitate your dream of home ownership in our beautiful Pacific Northwest setting. Until next time, guys, see you later.